Hello, fellow adventure riders and dual sport riders as well. Piloto Adventures Bob here, going to talk to you about a recent ride that I did. A little slow getting these posted up on my channel. I'm just not the fastest at getting the editing done and trying to get it pared down to a more palatable length when you're out just running or recording. But anyway, wanted to show the route that you just saw there. It's a route that's been posted into a local Facebook dual sport group, adventure group. It's a route heading south out of Council Bluffs, Iowa, which is just on the east side of Omaha, Nebraska, which is where I live. The route goes south on down into southwestern Iowa. It's across the river from Omaha in what is referred to as the Loess Hills. The Loess Hills are a area along the east side of the Missouri River that has a special, shall we say, combined soil content that's found in very few areas of the world. And this is one of the unique areas in the United States that has this soil composition. Does make for some hilly area because the soil was blown after the glaciers retreated up into Canada, had ground up the soil, and the good old winds that have always existed through this area of the country would blow this soil up into hills on the east side of the Missouri River. Prevailing winds, of course, across the country are from the west, and so that's why on the western side of the river there are some areas that you can find to ride, but it's more prevalent on the east side of the Missouri River in western Iowa. There's some routes that head north from Council Bluffs into what up towards to northwest Iowa, up to what would be referred to as east of Sioux City, Iowa, to name some of the kind of the larger cities for reference. This route goes down, like I say, south into southwestern Iowa. And on this day, I was only able to get down to basically just east of Nebraska City, just south of Sidney, Iowa. As you can see in the early part of this video, the minimum maintenance roads had been graded recently, which made riding the route a lot more pleasant. When we get a lot of rain in the spring and the summer, it typically comes down in pretty large, heavy quantities. And as you can see in these sections, these are just dirt sections, and they get washed out. With videos, you can't typically tell kind of the up and down parts of it, but this does go up and down into some creeks and areas where there is some hills, and so on the downhill and uphill sections, the washouts in this type of soil can get really deep. Fortunately, in the upper portion of this, down to, like I say, just east of Nebraska City, it had been graded, so I was able to get down to that area pretty easily. Once I got down there, they hadn't graded these minimum maintenance sections, and so I hit some areas that the washouts were pretty bad. And I was on a solo ride and, well, just not interested in trying to push my luck and navigate the washouts and not get cross-rutted down into the bottom of one of them and drop the bike and maybe injure myself, or most importantly, get in a situation where I'd just be, trying to drag the bike back out. So I just decided to call it a good day in that area and turn around and rode back up to my home in Omaha, Nebraska. Anyways, you can see a gravel section here. The minimum maintenance sections are typically connected with some gravel and sometimes pavement sections. I'm not sure who had recorded this route. I don't know who gets the credit for this, but whoever did actually record this route and made some nice connections with some of the minimum maintenance sections, did a real good job of making good connectors and kind of linking it together so you could just do a route south out of Council Bluffs and go on down. Again, I'm not quite sure how far south the route does go. I didn't follow it to its entirety, but hopefully later this fall, once harvest happens, well, I won't go out there and compete with the farmers, but maybe sometime after the farmers have gotten their crops out. I bet the minimum maintenance sections down further down will be graded as well, because they will be using those roads as access in and out of their fields, which is why they exist. As you can see, like going along this section, you can see there's agricultural areas on each side of the road, and they use these roads to get into these fields. Now, this isn't a complete, county road that's gravel that the state and the county is determined needs to be more maintained as a point A to point B road. This is really just more of a road that is used by the farmers, and they do, as I say, do some grading on them, do a little bit of minimal maintenance work on it, and does allow us as adventure riders at least have something to get just a little bit off the main tracks around the area. So just posting this up if you have kind of wondered in our neck of the woods what we do for adventure riding without having to travel to other parts of the country. This is about as good as it gets. Nothing terribly exciting, I realize, but at least we get to go out and ride. Most importantly, it gets us off the highways, gets us off especially out of town. City traffic, as we know, drivers are distracted ever greater. Seems like danger riding on crowded roads is, it's just higher than ever. So at least this allows us to go back and minimize the risk. Now, is it completely risk-free? No. You're gonna run along cows at times. Of course, there will be deer. You kind of got to be careful the time of day, early morning or late evening. The deer are going to be a lot more prominent. Also at harvest time, that is one thing that as the fields are getting harvested and stuff, the deer end up getting chased around a lot more. So you don't just tear off down these roads willy-nilly thinking that you are going to not have any type of obstacle that's going to come running out into your way. It's possible to happen, so you gotta ride with that in mind. As the old adage goes, only ride as fast as far as you can see ahead and able to slow down and stop. Even at that, with the deer running out, probably in some cases still is going to be good enough, but at least the way I figure it, the slower I'm going when I hit the deer, maybe the less injury I'm going to have. Speed typically equates with the extent of the injury that you're going to have. So I don't ride extremely fast. This isn't a race. There's no trophy for first place. There's no notoriety. No one's gonna watch this video and go, "Oh my God, this is the fastest guy I've ever seen on a Norden." Yeah, right. Ain't happening. It's just to give you an idea of some of the riding we do out here. Give you an idea of a little bit of the vista like you see here in this section of the video. This is looking from the hills back over the Missouri Valley there. So just if you don't ride in this area, it gives you a little idea of what we do. And of course, for the guys in the Facebook group here that maybe haven't ridden this route south out of Council Bluffs, giving you guys an idea of what the ride looks like. Sorry, haven't been able to talk through the whole video. I'm just going to add a little bit of music in the background on the last part here. No need to just have a guess the drone of the bike. That gets a little old to me. I know some of you don't like music, so it's not going to be very loud. It's just going to be in the background to finish out the video. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you just enjoy at least an aspect of learning a little bit more about our neck of the woods and our riding. Be safe out there and always be considerate to our fellow riders.